Hey guys, Sam here and welcome back to another FIFA 17 experiment. Today we'll be taking a look at what if every age was represented by a team. Starting in alphabetical order, Arsenal are representing the 16-year-olds and moving forward they will represent the next age. So 16, 17, 18, 19, each age has its own team. Now it has to be said that these ages have been picked from the start of FIFA. So since the beginning of FIFA, people have had their birthdays and some, if not most of these players have actually gone up to the next age. But to keep everything sort of normal and to just make this really easy on me to find the players on FIFA, I just did the ages at the beginning of FIFA. So whatever their age was when FIFA came out, that's the age that they're going to be rolling with. Of course, there's not enough to do every single age limit, so once we get to 35, which is the last one, it's actually 35 and over because there's not a lot of people playing at specifically 35 and 36. So that age limit, 35 and over, is the last team represented by West Ham, but every other team is only represented by just the one age limit. So it is a bit of an interesting one. I have no idea who's going to come out on top, to be honest, because there's some fantastic players across all ages. I think it's just the outliers, the ones on the edges, the really young teams and the really old teams, I don't think have a chance. But anywhere in the middle, it's gonna be fair game. If you guys do enjoy today's video, do leave a like on it. This is actually a subscriber idea, so definitely do leave a like for the first person that commented it, and I remembered it, and the comment stuck with me, except it takes so long to transfer all the players to the right teams. The first person that actually commented this, commented all the way back on when I did What If London Had Its Own League. Thank you, Adam Abdelrahim. What a name that is. Thank you for the idea, my friend. I definitely remembered that. I'm sure since then there have been other people that have commented that idea, but you were the first person on my channel to comment it. So thank you so much for the idea. Leave a like for Adam as well. It's a fantastic idea. If you're new around here, you can subscribe. And also, if you have more FIFA 17 experiment ideas, you can leave them in the comment section below. This is just proof that your ideas are turning into videos. So thank you so much for your support and your suggestions. Without further ado, let's take a look at the 20 teams that'll be competing in this league. Okay, kicking things off with the 16-year-old team represented by Arsenal, you can see that there aren't really too many good players in this team. They're only 16. De Ligt is obviously the one that everybody knows from Ajax. He's the highest rated and he's the captain at 722 rating. The 17-year-olds represented by Bournemouth, a decent team actually. Not too many players below the 70 rating. Donnarumma is the highest rated 17-year-old at an 80 rating, but Kylian Mbappe is right behind him, 79, so not a bad team. Burnley are representing the 18-year-olds, Rashford and Dolberg up top, Bailey on the left, Diawara, Renato Sanchez, a few really good talented players there. 19-year-olds are represented by Chelsea, are playing at the 3 at the back formation. That's Diop in front of Meret there. You can't see his name, but he's just ahead in a back 3 formation. Not too many good fullbacks in the 19-year-old category. 20-year-olds represented by Crystal Palace, a really solid team actually. A nice front attacking 5 there, if you don't count Julian Weigl, because I really don't count him. But Martial, Sane, Asensio, Lamar, and Dele Alli, that's a decent little squad right there. 21-year-olds are represented by Everton, and honestly, I'd say a little bit of a drop-off from the 20-year-olds. I'd say the 20-year-old team is probably on par, if not better, than the 21-year-old team. But you got Bernardo Silva as well, Jimenez, and Sterling. But those are the 3 key players in this team. 22-year-olds represented by Hull City, a really good team. Dybala and Kane up front, Carrasco on the left, Draxler on the right. You got Gomez in midfield, Laporte, Bailly, a lot of high-rated players. No one under the 80 rating in the starting 11. 23-year-olds are represented by Leicester City, Lukaku and Icardi up front, Felipe Anderson on the left, Lucas on the right, Pogba and Verratti is the midfield too, Jan Oblak in between the sticks as well, so some really good ratings there. 24-year-olds represented by Liverpool, Firmino, Coutinho and Neymar are the front 3, so a bit of Brazilian magic at the front with Eriksen, Casemiro and Rodriguez making up a midfield 3. You got Courtois in between the sticks, you got Alaba at left back, so really good team here for the 24-year-olds. Probably one of the better teams, especially taking a look at the bench. They have a lot of depth on the bench as well, so not a bad team here for the 24-year-olds. Manchester City representing the 25-year-olds and some really good, I mean, the front 3 is fantastic. Hazard, Griezmann and Riyad Mahrez. De Bruyne in midfield along with Thiago and Kante. De Gea in between the sticks as well. That makes me a little bit sick seeing him in a Manchester City goalkeeper kit, but whatever. Just an experiment. And the 25-year-olds actually look really, really good. Probably one of the favorites going into this. 26-year-olds represented by Manchester United. I'd say a little bit of a drop-off from the 25 to the 26-year-old category. Müller up front, Bale on the right, Kroos in midfield. So there are key key players in the team, but I feel like there's just a lot of average players here in the 26-year-old bracket. 27-year-olds represented by Middlesbrough and a really nice attacking team here. Lewandowski up front, Ozil behind him, Royce and Sanchez on the wings. You got Aubameyang, Willian, Mkhitaryan and Perisic all on the bench, but a really solid defensive combination as well with Boateng and Hummels. I mean, that is a really, really nice team, the 27-year-olds. 28-year-olds represented by Southampton. Not too much width when it comes to the 28-year-olds, but you got Higuain and Aguero up front. The Argentine connection there. Di Maria behind him as well, so there you go, another Argentine. Nainggolan, Rakitic and Hamšík making up a midfield three. Marcelo, Socrates, Glick and Howardez as a back four with Patricio in between the sticks. That's a very, very nice squad from the 28-year-olds. Moving on to the 29-year-old bracket and another solid team here. Mertens up front with Suarez, with Cesc Fabregas right behind them. Messi, of course, on the right. Arturo Vidal is in midfield. Bonucci, Piqué, and also Hugo Lloris. So a lot of high-rated players there for Spurs and the 29-year-old bracket. 30-year-olds are represented by Stoke City. Dzeko up front with Silva behind him. Mandzukic playing his wide target man with Marquisio and Modric as a midfield two. That's a very solid midfield two. The back four, though, is probably the strongest part of this entire team. Felipe Luis, Sergio Ramos, Godin, and Koscielny. Of course, Koscielny not really a right back, but he did play there a little bit in his younger years. Manuel Neuer, the highest rated goalkeeper in between the sticks as well. So very, very good here for the 30-year-old bracket. A couple of weak links, but not too many. Moving on to the 31-year-old bracket, a bit more experience now coming into play. Rafael up front with Santi Cazorla behind him. Ronaldo on the left. He's going to be the main man here. Chiellini and Thiago Silva making up the back two. A really solid partnership that with Handanovic in between the sticks. A very high-rated keeper. One of the goalkeepers in FIFA that I'm not sure why is at such a high rating, but he's an 87 rated keeper, so that's very, very solid here for the 31-year-olds. Swansea representing the 32-year-olds. Not too many key players here, but you got Robin and Iniesta, which is, you know, decent. Phil Lahm playing on the left-back position. Of course, not preferred at the left-back position, but has played there before and can do a job there. So a decent team for the 32-year-olds. Moving on to the 33-year-olds, and now age is really starting to catch up. Pepe is the highest-rated player in the 33-year-old squad. You got Ribéry on the left as well, but other than that, not too many standout players. Of course, Touré, Dani Alves, probably going to be big players in this team as well. Moving on to the 34-year-olds, you got Ibrahimovic on the left striker position. You got some pretty experienced players here. You got Joaquin, you got Kaká, Alonso, David Villa. I mean, a lot of legends there. Petr Cech in between the sticks as well. So a bit of a high-rated player in the goalkeeper position. And then last but not least is the 35-plus category. Some legends in this team. Eto'o, Aduriz, Totti behind them, Pirlo on the left, Thiago on the right. Gareth Barry is in the defensive mid position with Patrice Evra, John Terry, Barzagli, and Navas as the back four. That's not Jesus Navas, by the way. That's just a random Navas. And Gigi Buffon in between the sticks, 88 rated. So I think that this team can actually hold its own, especially just judging on the starting 11. Not too bad. One player under the 80 rating for the 35-plus-year-old bracket, so not bad. So without further ado, let's take a look at halfway through the season. Halfway through the season, and it is the 29-year-olds represented by Spurs who are currently at the top of the table by 1 point over the 30-year-olds. So it's 29 and 30 at the top, and then 31 is third. So 29, 30, and 31 for age limits are first, second, and third, which just shows that experience and a slight bit of age does come into play in these sort of leagues. Of course, that Spurs team has Suarez and Messi, so two 90-plus rated. They also have Lloris, Bonucci, Piqué, Vidal. They've got such high-rated players, so that 29 is probably really like the prime of your career right there. So the 29-year-olds are really showing up. Really, really well done. Moving down the table, you got Manchester City representing the 25-year-olds. They're in fourth. Middlesbrough representing the 27-year-olds. In fifth. Leicester City there, 23-year-olds in sixth. Arsenal representing the 16-year-olds, they're last. Chelsea representing the 19-year-olds, 19th. But overall, I wouldn't say too many surprises. Bournemouth are representing the 17-year-olds, and they're holding their own. Definitely holding their own in this league, the youngsters. But overall, it does look like it's more middle-age, sort of your prime. What you would expect from your prime that is so far dominating this league. I mean, the 29-year-olds are the best attacking and best defensive team. So you can't take anything away from what they're doing right now. They are a fantastic team, and there are a lot of players right there that are really, really good. So if they can keep it up, they will take out this league. We will take a look at what happens moving forward towards the end of the season. Do you think the 29-year-olds can hang on to this? I mean, it's a close one so far. It's only 3 points separating first and third. So we'll see how this league wraps up. I'm expecting a close one. So without further ado, let's see who takes out this league. Okay, and at the end of the season, the top 5 remains the same. It's the 29-year-olds that win it, and the 30-year-olds in second, with the 31-year-olds taking third. So that 29 to 31 age bracket seems to be the best so far. But the 29-year-olds, in terms of their attacking influence, you can't... They were such an attacking team. Suarez, Mertens, Messi. It was an intense team. Defensively, however, it was the 30-year-olds who were the best defensive team. Only conceding 27 goals, and their back four was pretty incredible, with an 85 rated Felipe Luis and Koscielny as their lowest rated centre-backs in the back four, and Manuel Neuer in between the sticks. They were always going to be a really solid defensive team. In terms of the bottom, I didn't show it. I didn't take a screenshot of it, but Arsenal, representing the 16-year-olds, only picked up 1 win this season. They ended up with 8 points, so a massive, massive gap between them and Chelsea, aka the 19-year-olds, who ended up coming in 19th. The 17-year-olds ended up dropping down to 17th, so although having a good start to the season, they dropped off. The 18-year-olds, they came in 15th there, Burnley. So the best team at 21 and under was actually Burnley, representing the 18-year-olds. So as far as the young players, it was actually the 18-year-old team that ended up performing the best. However, in terms of youngish sort of players, it was the 22-year-old team that came in 8th. That was very, very impressive. In terms of the top goal scorers, it was Ibišević who picked up the Golden Boot in this competition, playing for Sunderland, aka the 31-year-olds. He picked up 16 goals, which is a decent effort. Giuliano, for the 26-year-old bracket, ended up picking up 15 goals. I didn't even know who he was before this experiment. And Romelu Lukaku, representing the 23-year-olds, he picked up 14 goals as well. But that is it, guys. That is the end of today's experiment. The 29-year-olds take it by 2 points, and a really, really, really interesting experiment. Thank you very much again, Adam, for the suggestion. This turned out to be a really fun one. I really was not expecting anything. I don't know what I was expecting, to be honest with you. Going into this, I thought, who knows which of these teams will be the best? I mean, yes, I guess you could say that the 29-year-olds do have 2 really elite players, 2 above 90 rated players. So I guess that was the difference when it came down to it. Suarez and Messi in the same team was probably what edged it for the 29-year-olds ahead of the 30 and 31-year-olds. But it just goes to show that these players that are a little bit older, you know, when you play career mode, you don't really want to sign anyone that's 29, 30, or 31, but those are the best players in the game, as proof of this experiment. I mean, even taking a look at like 6th place, the 33-year-olds, you know what I mean? These are old players. These are players that you would not sign in career mode. Absolutely no chance. But it's just evident that, I mean, they are talented players. They came 6th. So that's a decent effort from them. I know career mode is different from a standard tournament, but in those first, I'd say maybe 2 seasons, you can get away playing with some older players. Some of my favorite players in career mode, to name 2, are Ruben Castro from Real Betis and Andre Pierre Gignac. And they're very old strikers in terms of career mode, but I'd say that they're just like 2 of the best players I've used in career mode and just on FIFA in general. They just seem to bang in the goals whenever. I think maybe some people just need to like change the way they look at career mode sometimes and maybe give some of the older players a go. Hashtag give old people a chance. Anyway, that is it, guys. That is the end of today's experiment. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy today's video, please do leave a like on it. If you're new around here, you can subscribe and keep leaving your suggestions, because like I said, this is just the evidence that you guys are leaving fantastic suggestions and I'm making videos out of them. And this was a really good suggestion, a really nice experiment to do, really fun one. It did take a little while to actually set all of it up, but in the end, I think it was well worth it. But that is it, guys. I'm not going to hold you any longer. Like I said before, I hope you did enjoy today's video. I hope you did have a good day. I'll see you guys in the next one very soon. Keep it real.